The chapter is kind of later in the book, but it's just describing the thoughts of this officer Dunphy, and he's kind of a veteran NYPD officer, and he's looking to get out, but he's kind of addicted to the thrill of being an NYPD officer, and he's addicted to the adrenaline. So he's looking for an excuse to get out. And the ties that he has to the community and the ties that he has to kind of the Irish Bronx holds him back. His wife has passed, so kind of the ghosts of her ghosts are holding him back as well, and he kind of stays in the community for her, and so he wants to get out, and he's looking for an excuse to get out. Dunphy's two heavy legs walked up the 4 flights of the 5-floor walk-up to his Uncle Dennis's 1 bedroom, 3 times. For up he came, and his Uncle Dennis asked him to get him a ginger ale, and down he went, to the bodega, $1.50. And up he came 4 flights, and, could you get me one of the Irish papers? And down he went to the Irish deli, which had been closed down and turned into an Arab bodega. So over to the Irish-owned 4 Provinces pub, which had been closed down and turned into the Mexican go-go bar, La Cuchi Cuchi. So over to Gaelic Park, which was still open, thanks be to Christ, and still sold The Voice, and 2.25 out of 5. And up he came 4 flights. "How's about you, Dunphy?" Uncle Dennis said, as Dunphy collapsed into his uncle's recliner, only to be told through nonverbal communication that was his uncle's recliner, and so collapsed in the love seat. "How's about ye, Uncle Dennis?" Dunphy asked, as his Uncle Dennis poured the ginger ale and bemoaned the peace process as reported in The Voice and chewed the fat. The one train rattled a block away, and despite the early autumn's cool, Uncle Dennis's open window welcomed the train's noise as if it were ocean waves crashing on into Ireland's coast, and the smell of the garbage below in the alley as if it were the smell of the salty sea breeze of Ireland. Uncle Dennis went on into the kitchen to fry them up some burgers just the way Dunphy liked them, burnt and crispy on the outside, pink and still giving milk on the inside. When he came out with the beef delicacies and a bottle of ketchup, whose brand apparently was ketchup, they talked about the job, for Dunphy had told Uncle Dennis that he wanted to retire. "It was a different force when your father and I were on the job," Uncle Dennis said. "I'm sure it was. And the needs are different now, of the community like, and the community is different. When I started out, the people you arrested on Saturday night you went to Mass with on Sunday morning. If you took Mr. O'Dwyer in on Thursday night from the pub, you'd better have an explanation for Mrs. O'Dwyer at the butcher's on Friday afternoon. You weren't responsible to a division leader or a representative from the commissioner's office. You were responsible to the community. And if you done wrong, you answered to them. I know what you mean. Let me ask you." "Yes?" "When was the last time you arrested someone you knew?" Uncle Dennis asked, setting his teeth down on the table to get out a sesame seed. 2 weeks ago, I arrested this guy for the 3rd time for helping himself in the self-help section of the library." "Yes, knew, like someone you'd had a relationship with, gone out drinking with, saw at the dentist's." "Been a while. Because that's when you get to know yourself. That's when you find out about what kind of cop you are, what kind of person you are." "Did I ever tell you about the story of your dad and the bank thief?" Uncle Dennis asked, placing his teeth back where they belonged, in the glass on the bookshelf. "I don't think so. You'd know so if I had told it to you. Then no. This was about 4 years into our careers. We went to the academy together, though I was younger. He waited for me. That I knew. Maybe when you were about 2. How old were you when he was killed?" "I was just 6, right? So it had to have been when you were about 2. Anyway, your father was a fine cop, one of the best, really. You've heard that before." "I have." He hadn't stopped hearing it since before the time of his birth. "Setting all kinds of arrest records. Me, I was just happy to be there. I was happy to make up the numbers. I was happy to collect the paycheck and have the benefits. But your father wanted to move up quickly, make detective and sergeant and lieutenant. He wanted to be commissioner one day. He had designs on this city.